Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Magic the Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers 2015! We're scooping poops and pooping the scoops, and then it's Scoops Week. Did you guys know it's Scoops Week?
No, but
That's the college thing, right?
Before we get going,
Sweep.
Sweep.
I'm not a racist.
Okay.
No, we know. It's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we get there.
No, it's
okay,
cool.
let's
It's just an
continue with the
accident.
episode.
No problem. Yep.
Yeah.
Important to note, by the way, we're recording this one immediately after the last one, so the whole comment section thing is not going to be particularly applicable. But in fairness, we didn't do that segment last time, so perhaps we could do it this time with the last comment section. But it wouldn't be the last comment section that you know. It would be the comment section before the last one that you know.
All the things you're saying right now aren't going to be possible because we need to record them in bulk.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're going to PAX East, all of us actually. So we have to record lots of them for the coming future.
Yeah.
Although that doesn't mean that we're not going to read the comments. So you know. So.
We'll read them. We'll just not probably be in recording when we're reading them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Because this will happen in a week's time. Never mind.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah. Start duel.
Also, there wasn't really anything comment-wise worth mentioning on the last one, I don't think. I'd looked through them all.
Ooh, my hand is terrible. Let's see if the
Mine
new hand
too.
is better. Nope. Not really. No. All right.
I'm mostly okay with mine.
Well, I guess you won then.
I feel like even if I get shitty cards, if I get balanced lands, then I've got a good hand. At
Me
this
too.
point.
So my strategy is kill Austin, then lose to Rob.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Exactly.
That is
yeah.
what we're doing.
I'm
Exactly.
4-0, baby, on the new PC. It's bringing me luck.
I
Pretty
think I
excited
feel like
about
Nick
that.
killing me is the thing giving you luck.
Yeah, it's definitely your PC, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
It's all those extra frames that you've got.
It's the
I
extra
think that's what it
reaction time
is.
that
Yeah,
you
yeah. I get a lot of extra. I mean, the APM is very important in Magic the Gathering.
Well, as
Duels of
are
the
frames.
Planeswalkers 2015. I'm really curious as to whether or not they're gonna have the new Magic at PAX East. Actually,
Well, they'll have several, right? Because it's one every quarter, so they'll probably have to come out with at least a couple of them.
did either of us, by the way, because he tweeted the both of us, did you, I guess more specifically, I'm asking, do any follow up as to the veracity of his claim?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah,
I'm just
me either,
completely
yeah,
just
all right.
following up as if I had some information, but I don't.
No, fair enough. Me too. Yeah. So just
Yeah,
important to note. Yeah. Yeah.
I like the idea of it, so we're just going to kind of drag that.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's.
Of course.
Yeah. That's
That's how most, skeptics handle new information.
Mm-hmm,
Just
just
agree.
accept it as fact.
Accept it as fact.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's the way to go.
We're a good
I
sense
always
of
find.
vision.
Yeah.
So you want to know that thing that I was looking up beforehand?
I do.
Yes, you were gonna tell us a thing.
Yeah, I was going to tell them a thing that I was looking up because I thought it was kind of hilarious, and I just happened to catch this bit of news in just completely offhandedly. I was watching something completely unrelated. So apparently there's going to be another Five Nights at Freddy's coming out very soon.
Yeah. Wow.
We're going to hit 3 now.
That's the third one. All
That's
right.
the third one.
That's 3 within what, like 5 months? Longer than that?
Not a
6
very
months?
long time, honestly. I don't really know how many months.
Man,
It's-
money.
It's really weird. Like, so the thing that caused me to even end up noticing this was I was on Game Jolt, and their entire page, if you don't know, Game Jolt is basically like a repository for people to upload indie games, and I would very frequently get most of my games from there to do indie impressions on. And as of about 2 months ago, the entire thing has just been filled up with clones of Five Nights at Freddy's for some reason. Just hundreds of them.
Really.
Hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of Five Nights at Freddy's clones. All of them are terrible, and most of them don't even have properly written descriptions for the games. So I don't even understand like when this took over as such a massive bit of interest for people, but apparently Five Nights at Freddy's is like a fucking mine. It is a gold mine.
It's like the new Minecraft on YouTube. People
But I
are
thought it was
making-
for like a week when Markiplier did it, and it was really exciting because he was scared.
Well,
and
you
then,
haven't,
like,
obviously
get
you haven't
over it.
watched up to episode 180 of Markiplier's Five Nights at Freddy's series.
Please tell me he really doesn't have 100.
I have no idea, but that would be hilarious if he did. Is there a significant amount of RNG in that game that it would it would be interesting for a
first.
series?
At first, there's RNG, and then you realize that almost all of the actions are kind of based on what you do at any given moment. So you can kind of mitigate and make a strategy out of it, is what I've been told. It's apparently a very deep strategy game.
Okay.
And I do respect it to a small degree for that, because it's deeper than you would expect, and also it is kind of legitimately pretty good atmosphere. It's also kind of it makes fun of itself in a way that I wasn't expecting either. So it's not all bad.
Conceptually, it's very interesting in my opinion.
I don't understand though why we needed to put it on a fucking pedestal though. Why did my land just go there? Did I do that?
Yeah, it's you discarded a card with the necromancer.
Oh, it came out of my deck. Okay, I thought it was one of the lands I had out for some reason.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, it's the same thing happened to Amnesia, but it happened to Amnesia way slower than it did to Five Nights at Freddy's.
But PewDiePie did it, and then it was the whole mod scene, which is why it got big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just mean the same idea that it got put way higher than it probably deserved to be. Like,
yeah, I don't find the monster scary at all in that, by the way. It's just like a weird torn open pig thing.
Well, the monster's not supposed to be scary. It's
why is
supposed
it
to be
scary?
Well, because you're not. If you play the game correctly, you're not really supposed to look at the monster for any extended period. In fact, you're discouraged from looking at it. You lose sanity when you do. You're meant to be more of a. It's meant to just look strange, but uncanny valley almost, like to the point where you're not sure what it is.
The thing that gets me is, like, I don't feel like the sanity makes you any more scared or anything. It just makes everything make you kind of motion sick, and it's just hard to look at. It just kind of, like, puts a wavy shader over your screen and makes it all dark.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's like, I mean, that's, like, basically what being insane is like, right? I mean, what?
Yeah.
I don't really understand a lot of scary games. I don't think I get scared about them the same way most people do.
That's when, a movie has like, oh, these characters are doing pot. Oh shit, a flying tiger from the sky. Oh, look out, boys, I'm afraid of the flying tiger from the marijuana fairy. Like, yeah, all right, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. It is. I mean, not that I've ever tried in New York City.
No,
because it's illegal. But
no one's assuming that.
Obviously, yeah. But yeah, no, I guess it would be kind of similar to that. I don't know. I haven't really. I'll be honest. I haven't played either of the games, so I don't have a particularly.
Have you played Penumbra or like any of those?
No, not really.
Have you played any scary games recently?
I generally stay away from scary games because I legitimately get scared.
Too spooky.
By them. Yeah, I really do.
Don't use that word.
But I get a little bit too afraid.
Oh, you did Alien.
I did Alien Isolation recently, yeah.
You didn't finish it though.
I did not finish it.
Which makes you a scumbag because I wanted to watch your Let's Play.
Yeah, people were a bit negative on it, and then also I was
having
recording
finish
issues.
Twilight Princess, Rob? Like,
well, I literally can't do that one.
That game's not even scary.
Alien Isolation I can probably go back to now, but I don't think anybody would want to watch it. But I mean, I could go back to it now because my computer doesn't
Dude, it's so long.
Is
it's
it really?
like 24 hours long.
Is it that long?
It's so long. Every time you think it's reaching a climax, it's like, okay, the end of chapter 2 of 8.
Is 24 hours long for a game now?
For a horror game, it is.
Okay, maybe for a horror game.
It's like definitely over 16 or 18 hours, which is way long for a horror game.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Rob. Horror games do not sit well with me. I get very scared.
You are aware that there's a whole market for that. You could be selling this right now.
Yeah, I could be. No, see, I don't think I could be because I don't have the mental fortitude to be scared that many times in one day.
That's exactly what they want. They want you to give up and also eat a hot pepper while you're at it.
I did the onion challenge once. Never again.
Dude, there is a new market out there for eating hot peppers while being scared.
Is it really?
Dude, I still have this card in my deck.
Is that the next level of the heart monitor?
Yeah, the pepper cam. I guess.
People really like the onion video from years ago.
Oh, set it up so every time your heart rate goes too high, it sprays you in the eye with pepper spray.
like a monster jumps out. Ah! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh god! Oh Jesus!
Dude, I could actually watch that. That would be so funny.
And then also like it hits you in the face with a cream pie right after too.
Oh yeah, you get cream pied right afterwards.
And then you immediately get cream pied right after that.
Dude, it's like Speed. You gotta keep your heart rate down or you get sprayed in the eye.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's my best idea today.
Yeah, you know what's sad is that someone could and might take that idea.
Pepper spraying yourself for fun is a really bad idea. Don't do that.
I'm sure.
Well, wasn't there a guy, I heard about a guy on Twitch who had his sub notification to a jump scare, so he would get terrified every time someone subbed.
T-Rex has done that before. That's not a huge thing.
Wait, really? What did he do?
He had a scary sound when he would play scary games, and when people would subscribe, he would get scared.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, no, what was I gonna say? I don't know.
You're gonna say that's pretty funny, actually.
That's pretty funny, actually, yeah. No, I don't remember exactly what I was going to say, but it was something interesting and hilarious, and everyone watching would have been particularly intrigued by the.
Just keep describing what it would have been and give it adjectives.
Would have been, would have been great. Would have been great.
Would have been the best thing ever
yeah.
said on the show.
Fantastic. I mean, top notch. You know, you would go in if we had a Hall of Fame for like best magic jokes. It would be.
Would have been 6 out of 7.
I think the top notch is the one with the candy room. Honestly.
I'll take you to the candy room shop. I'll let you lick the candy room pop.
Your Mojang pop.
Yeah. Right.
Look, no, here's what you got to do if you want to fake out your dad.
I'm sorry, it didn't have the impact of when Rob did it. It really caught me off guard the other time.
Yeah, you gotta fake out your dad.
It was incredible.
You know?
The timing of that.
Sometimes you just gotta fake out your dad, you know?
Yeah.
The best time to pull a joke like that is when it has no relevance to anything we're saying. Absolutely the best time. You'll get me, and you'll get me so good. And it'll feel good for everyone. Hundreds and maybe even over 1,000 people will laugh with you. And don't you want to be that kind of guy?
That's true.
Don't you?
Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh. Because I do. I want me, baby. I want me. Oh.
You know, I don't believe you when you say that you don't.
I want to see your peacock, cock, your peacock. That's a song about how Katy Perry wants to look at your dick.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
That's yeah.
I'm not surprised that exists, to be completely honest.
Bit weird. It's a bit weird.
Don't be a shy kind of guy. I bet it's beautiful. Hey, baby, let me see.
Come on, save the words for when you actually see it. You know, don't hype it up, or you might be disappointed. I'm just saying.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's fine. Just
Yeah. What if it's just a really sad little dick?
Could be.
Hey, Katy Perry, I got a 2-incher for you. What do you think about that? I'm kind of a shy kind of guy, but I'll show you. She's like, oh, I bet it's beautiful. Oh.
Ooh, made a bit of an error on that one.
I really wish I didn't write that song for you.
Gonna release this single, but I might hold on to it now.
I wanna see your peacock, cock, your peacock. Why even say peacock? Just say cock. I just want to see your cock.
I want to see your penis.
I want to see your dick.
I want to see your penis. Your penis. Like, it doesn't have a whole bunch of shimmering rainbow feathers behind it. It's just your dick.
Yeah, right. You're just looking for his dick, yeah.
She's just interested in his dick, not anything else in that song.
Not anything else.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you can look at dicks all you want. Go right ahead.
Look at some dicks, man.
Look away. Look at some dicks.
Hey, we all look at some dicks sometimes.
That's true.
It's normal.
It's surprisingly fairly often.
Sometimes you just gotta look at some dicks.
Like every time I pee, there's one involved.
Yeah, that's one. Pornography. Almost always there's a dick involved.
Unless you're mostly just into lesbians.
That's to each his own. To each his own. That's like that. What's his name? The one of the dudes from the
Damon Wayans.
No, from the 5. You know, the 5
Nights
southern.
at Freddy's.
The 5 southern dudes.
The Kings of Comedy.
Have sex with each other, and they're like the Kings of Comedy, but they're white.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Yes.
And I don't remember any of them.
Yeah. Well, one of them, the one with the white hair, the only one that's actually kind of funny.
The one that smokes cigars, right?
Yeah.
Tater salad.
Yeah, him. So he has this one bit where he's like, everybody's a little
gay.
Everybody's just a little bit gay. And like, I would be talking to my really staunchly
hetero friend,
and he'd be like, "Nah, man, I ain't gay at all. What you talking about? Nah, I don't like dudes. What do you mean? I ain't a little bit gay." He's like, all right, well, you watch porno, right? He's like,
Hell yeah, I watch porno."
hell yeah, I watch porno all the time.
I've seen the bit too.
Yeah, all right, do you always watch lesbian porno? No, most of the time I watch regular porn.
I watch them get on.
Yeah, I watch it.
I watch them bang.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, well, do you like in those pornos men with limp, floppy, small penises? And he's like, no, I love big, hard, strong cock. Oh, I guess you're right.
See, I know the punchline. I've heard that joke too, and it's still funny to me.
Yeah, it's always good.
I think there's a level of cognitive dissonance, though, where some people would know the punchline and still somehow try to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
there's
probably.
some people that would be like, oh, I'm afraid of admitting this out loud, so I need to come up with a way to make that not true.
Yep.
And I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Nimblongo rings.
Yeah, Nimblongo rings.
The Blanco ring.
That actually sounds like Majora's Mask bullshit.
That sounds like
rings.
that
I
sounds
got
like
the
some
Nimblongo
sort of like
rings.
a Mexican treat that you find at your local bodega.
Olegda.
Alegda. Fucking them Blanco rings, dude. That's really.
Do that trick next time. See if it works.
Do what trick?
The Nimblongo rings. You go to the clock tower, right? You got to go get the dog,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Oh.
you do the back jumps. You got to get
Please
over. You got to
stop.
do the final owl. You got to hit the owl outside
You
of the
gotta
bound.
fuck the owl.
Yeah, the hidden owl.
You can do a wrong warp,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll probably get you the wacky sword.
Oh yeah.
And then you can go
Wacky
up into the
sword?
sky, and you got to do
Want
the balance
wacky
act.
sword, yeah.
Oh, you were with it for so long, and then the wacky sword.
I can't remember what the sword trick was called.
ISG.
Yeah, that one. ISG. YSG, the yellow shirt guy.
YSG.
Yeah. You have to have sex with the yellow shirt guy. You got to do him, and then
I mean, he
after
doesn't
that,
mind.
yeah, I'm sure he would.
Or does he? I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to go to that route and say like he's very nerdy. Perhaps he's never had sex, but I mean, what if he's like a super player? Like, what if he's just banging chicks all day, every day? Like that's his
banging
thing.
on a trash can.
Well, maybe he's banging on a trash can,
Drumming
but
on a street light.
I was looking more towards the banging ladies.
Drumming on my bongo.
Yeah, that too. No. Yeah, getting with Rajan Rondo is the next line to.
You've been making a lot of Rajan Rondo jokes lately.
It rhymes with things, you know. You kind of
It
gotta go
does,
for the
it just
Rajan
goes with
Rondo.
it.
Yeah.
Who is Rajan Rondo?
Rajan Rondo.
He's
a
yeah.
basketball player with the
Oh.
Celtics.
I don't think he's with the Celtics
This-
anymore.
Is he not
He
with the
good
Celtics
name.
anymore?
I think he.
Raj?
Yeah.
I gotta Google it now. Hold on,
It
Rajan.
sounds like at the end of a magic trick, you go Rajan Rondo.
Rajan
And
Rondo.
You put your hands
Oh yeah,
up
you're
in the air,
right.
and
He's
dunks
with the
shoot out.
Mavericks right now.
He's with the
I didn't know
Mavericks,
that.
yeah.
Mavericks.
Yeah, that whole Celtics team, that championship winning
Wait.
Celtics team is like torn apart now.
Isn't that owned by Mark Cuban,
Yes.
Is that? Yes. Yeah.
the entrepreneur and tech mogul?
Mm-hmm.
He's like a millionaire at least, if not a billionaire.
He's in that AT&T commercial actually.
I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I watch a lot of Shark Tank, so Mark Cuban near and dear to me.
He's
very aggressive lately. I think he's been doing like drugs or something. He's very angry at everyone.
He could be doing a lot of cocaine. They tend to do that at the.
I don't
higher
actually
levels.
have any facts to back that up. I'm not
I'm
trying to
sure
slander
he's
him.
doing cocaine.
Because
I
a
wouldn't be
second ago, I just
surprised,
said Mark Cuban was near and dear to me, and now I'm accusing him of doing drugs.
Well, I mean, it's not like the accusation is something
such
horrible
a
or
scum.
anything. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's a little scummy.
All right. Well, I feel like I lost.
Yeah, I did too.
There goes the old streakaroonie.
Yeah, well.
Fight
Yeah.
for it, man. Fight back.
Rob's still in it. He's in it. He's got some cards.
Rob Jean Rondo.
Rob Jean Rondo, yeah.
Rob Sean Rondo.
That's like your French middle name, right, Jean?
Jean Rondo.
Wow. I didn't take it there.
Yeah,
Well,
what?
no, it's right. That's like Matt Damon.
Oh, well, that's
Matt Damon.
Matt
Jean
Damon.
Rondo. That sounds like what you would if your name was Rob Jean Rondo.
Rob John Rondo.
My name is Rob.
Rob John Rambo.
Rob John Rondo.
Whoa. You're taking me places.
Oh, spaghetti.
I can take you higher. Do-do-do-do-do.
To a place where creatures
Fight. I did so many fist clenches while you were singing that. I did at least 9.
Can you take me higher?
Did you guys know Kid Rock has a new album? It's coming out at the end of February.
Fuck you.
Oh, this is funny.
You
I'm like,
son of
I'm
a bitch.
No, fuck you trying to help Nick.
I'm a vessel right now.
I'm trying to hurt you so that it helps me.
Sorry. Countered, bitch.
Rob, what if my trick was that I wasn't attacking him at all, and then you buffed me and I hit you?
Ooh. That would be rude.
Yeah.
You'd be a rude dude.
It happened.
Probably not
boys.
what's actually
with a lot
happening.
of tude.
Quest of the Grave Lord for the.
It actually happened.
It actually worked.
How does that happen?
Contrary to popular belief, that card does work sometimes.
So, I just said how Kid Rock has a new album, and he's like almost 50, and the song that he released as a single is about his first kiss.
Okay.
And it's not like a sassy southern twang type of song. It's like a really earnest country song. And it makes me feel really awkward.
But
and
can you
what?
take me higher?
Yeah, can you take me higher?
Higher than what?
Higher.
And higher.
Your
Your love.
Is what I got. I say, remember that.
I was trying to keep the chain going, but I couldn't think of any songs that I'd remember that at the start. Damn.
That was Dave Chappelle singing Sublime's Love I got. Now that you think back on it, it sounded a little like it, didn't it?
I did, yeah.
Not when I was saying it, but afterward.
I was singing Jackie Bingelheim's
Excuse me?
Take Me Higher. I don't actually know the name of the guy. I forget who it is.
Scott Stapp.
Taking Me Higher. Your love is taking me higher
Why
than
all
I've
these soul
ever
songs?
been lifted before.
I'm imagining you in church, like, singing along to a choir. Fucking Rob getting so hyped for the Lord all of a sudden.
Fuck yeah, dude.
The Lord will take you anywhere you want to
Jesus
go.
loves me.
Jesus loves everybody. Including little children, I've heard.
Wait,
They've really got to put a stop to that.
What's exactly happening to me? How much damage?
He's just shooting
I don't-
directions.
Look, man, I'm doing my smoke and mirrors trick here, all right?
I don't
You guys don't know what the
understand-
fuck's going on.
You gotta
You're running out
stop
of time.
smoking mirrors. That glass is really bad for your lungs.
Yeah, don't smoke any of those mirrors.
Some fucking lines going across the screen.
How
I don't
much
know, man.
damage am I
Numbers.
taking? Is it
73?
is it enough to kill me? That is
40.
that 1, 2.
Negative
block
70s.
that.
I don't know what's happening. I can't
Your
do it.
love is lifting me higher.
What I remember that.
You guys never heard that song?
No.
No. I'm just imagining there's like the intercom in my grandparents' house and there's just soul music playing on. It's just Rob.
I said remember that.
Oh,
Stop being on the
man.
intercom in my grandparents' house, Rob.
I'll think about it. I don't think I have any way to win this at all.
I think the streak's dead, boys.
Rob, there's no way you're gonna win this. I'm sorry.
Well, I have one play that's decent, but it won't win. I have another play that's also relatively decent, but also
Yeah.
probably won't win.
The only option we have at this point is to cut our losses and fucking riot and tell Austin to change his deck.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Just riot.
There's Rito.
Rito.
I have 56
Grave
life.
Lord Rito.
Rob.
Yeah, no, I get that aspect of it as well. Yeah, that's
Said remember that.
Oh.
Austin's got 56 life. So remember that.
All right. Was that the decent play?
This one is all right, yeah.
It's so cold in the D.
It's so cold in the day.
Everybody remember that song? It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was back when there were novelty Twitter accounts for Northern Lion. Those were the days. Oh shit.
There was a pause.
Yeah.
Everything's so blue.
The play's not entirely over. It's not gonna do a great deal.
Make the plays, Rob.
Anybody remember that movie where they had to throw blood all over Kevin Bacon?
Oh,
Oh
my.
yeah.
What was that movie called again?
Fuck your mother.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is what it was.
great old classic. Fuck your mother. Everyone loves
My
it.
Like
favorite.
Mr. Invisible or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Hollow Man.
Oh yeah. That movie sucked ass.
I just remember them throwing blood all over Kevin Bacon, and he was like, "Oh no, they can see me because blood." I'm Kevin Bacon, and I was invisible, and I was all creepy and nasty.
Yeah.
Fucking Kevin Bacon,
That
blood
movie
all
was
over him.
trash.
Then he was in the River Wild, and he was like this fucking hostage-taking motherfucker, and he was like, he tried to rob a bank, but then he like tried to kill his family for some reason because there was a river.
And it was wild.
Oh.
It was a
And then he was in
wild-ass
Tremors,
river.
and there were these huge worms.
Mhm.
Okay, Tremors is a good movie, all right?
Tremors is a good film.
What's the best Kevin Bacon movie, though?
I don't like
Tremors.
it. Footloose probably.
Probably Tremors.
Isn't Footloose like a play, though?
Yeah,
Footloose.
but it's also a good film.
To put on the Sunday shoes, I think?
Yeah.
I know the words to that song. Don't worry
I'm
about it.
gonna look at his IMDb here. There.
Yeah, let's do IMDb time with Rob. I love this segment.
Oh,
Oh,
he
God.
was in Apollo 13. That's right. Yeah, he was real good.
Oh,
in
yeah, that movie was pretty good.
That was a good film. Yeah. And
Was he
oh,
in, like,
he was
Sunday
in
Horse?
X-Men. No, I wish he was in Sunday Horse and Sunday Horse
Sunday
too.
Horse in the mouth.
And he was also in X-Men First Class, which was very good. I like
didn't
that.
think that.
I know you didn't like that movie, yeah, but I liked it.
Can you check on Sunday Horse to see if there's any updates?
I should. You know what? You're right. I'm gonna look up Sunday Horse. Let's see.
Get our Sunday Horse update in.
Maybe
On
there's, like,
Sunday,
a new
in fact.
You know what? I should go to r/Sunday Horse and
Oh,
see
perfect.
what's happening there.
There's
This-
gotta be a sub.
This had to do with Nicolas Cage, am I right? Like, is that what it was?
Most likely, that's usually where we get to anything.
Ryan Merriman, isn't that a former NFL player? Oh no,
Ryan
definitely not.
Mirian.
Oh, but right. Okay, yeah, that's right. This movie's weird because it's got William Shatner and Ving Rhames in it.
Yes!
Okay, yeah, okay. This
That
is
makes it good, though, kind of. Travelocity.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Doesn't he die? Like in the Travelocity commercials, he dies.
Yeah, he
and he's-
died. Yeah, he's dead. But he came back, right? Like they brought him back
Nick,
to
did
life.
you know that?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
he,
no.
he straight up died. There's like 3 commercials in the sequence after where they're all sad because he's dead,
Yeah.
and they're still getting good deals on
Well,
Travelocity
You know,
though.
props to them for having a narrative.
They had it was a really
Commercial.
long it took like 2 years of that narrative for it to play out. Yeah, I think what he does is someone's gonna crash their car off a cliff and he like jumps in the way and knocks them out and then he falls off the cliff and dies.
I think
So-
they're even at one point they have like a ghost detector and they're trying to feel the vibes and the vibes are telling them to go to Travelocity.com.
I'm
Yeah.
just not gonna. Yeah. All right. So what's up with Sunday Horse?
All right, so well, in Sunday Horse, after a near fatal accident on a horse,
Oh,
the
God, okay,
experts
no, we
thought,
broke this fucking song.
thought was
Dude,
nothing
read the whole thing
special.
again.
After a near fatal accident on a horse, the experts thought was nothing special. A determined rider from the wrong side of the tracks
God damn
defies
that fucking
all
sentence, dude.
defies all the odds to pursue her dreams of winning a national jumping championship.
I fucking hate that sentence.
It's
so
the best.
Doesn't
It's
mean
the
anything.
best.
Doesn't mean
It took us
anything.
3 years to figure out
It's
what
like
it fucking
content.
Like, it's just so ambiguous and
like a
yet
blueberry.
specific.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
God,
so
we couldn't even get the
strange.
grammar of the sentence right until like 10 minutes later. We had to dissect it in each word.
Very confusing.
Is there any update though? Is there any new information about it? New funding? New anything?
I mean, it says not yet released 2015. It was updated January 26th, 2015.
Oh,
so
That's very recently.
yeah, it was rather recent. Yeah.
Well, compared to how long ago it was
I
that
guess-
we last looked at the page. Which
Yeah,
is a while
right.
back.
Yeah, it's in post production now, so that means they're editing it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. So yep. That's the production company is still the Sunday Horse 2. So that's the best part about that is they really they doubled down on this Sunday Horse project. They really thought it's gonna be a fucking mega
Titled the production
blockbuster.
company the name of the sequel and not the name of the original one.
The Sunday Horse 2 brought the Sunday Horse brought to you by the Sunday Horse 2.
But like, you could at least think of them serializing this product and saying, "Well, this is our IP's name, the Sunday Horse, and we're going to name our production company after that because we really believe in the Sunday Horse and all the message that comes behind that." But they went after the sequel because it's just like a pipe dream for them or something, and they just got to keep the memory alive in their own name.
They really, yeah, they really do.
Is there going to be a second Sunday Horse, or is it going to be the same Sunday
Well,
Horse?
then they've got to create a new company called the Sunday Horse 3 to create.
To make
Right,
it.
yeah, that's it. They got to make a new production company.
I
Yeah.
want to get off this wild Sunday Horse ride.
I never want it to end.
There's some, man, headshots are weird, man.
Does it say who wrote that sentence that we really like?
No, well, it's likely like the producer. It's like that's a
Yeah.
log line. There's actually a formula to making log lines, and this fits the formula. However, it's way too long. Like it's
Well-
far too long.
You understand why I'm asking, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's ridiculous.
I want to know who wrote it so we can find more of their work and read it.
Yeah, that's it.
I want to know if they write like that all the time.
Story is by Fred T. Cunart,
Cunart.
and it looks like one of the movies he's known for is Beneath Loch Ness. And
Oh,
I was really hoping you were going to say Sunday Horse 3.
no, that would be fantastic.
He started at the third one. That's where he got established. And then he called his production company Sunday Horse 2 so they could make the original.
He's basically the new George Lucas, right? Like, essentially.
It's some Pulp Fiction IRL shit.
Oh no! The
What?
last movie that he wrote, I guess he was a co-writer on this one. The last movie that he wrote was a movie called The List, starring Wayne Brady.
Schindler. Oh.
Wayne Brady, and get this, Sidney Tamlia Poitier. Yeah.
Interesting.
Googling The List with Wayne Brady right now. Came out in 2007.
My idea, the poster's great because it's like a list of like my ideal woman. Number 1 is funny. Number 3 is real. Number 6 is beautiful. Number 8 can sing.
Number 10, the
Can
Sunday
we
Horse.
can we look at number 4 in this list?
What is it?
And number 7 too. Number 4 is bilingual.
Mhm.
All right, so you've just
All right.
narrowed down your list a lot.
Mm,
And number 7 is loves that food.
no, it loves Thai food actually.
Oh, Thai food.
Loves that food.
I was wondering
She
if
gotta
it's
love that
specific-
food.
Oh, a lady loves that food.
There you go. She has gotta love that food because there's a difference.
Loves hockey. Thai food, bilingual, can sing, is organized.
Can we just point out? I want to be able to show the smile that Wayne Brady has in this fucking
Oh, I've
movie
seen a
poster.
Wayne Brady smile.
No, it's a great
No,
Wayne Brady one.
this is a very like.
It's
Do I want to
specific,
be
yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Smile.
Oh,
This is 2007, right? So this is like the height of his career.
yeah, that was a big year for him.
Yeah, yeah. It also looks like he's got a receding hairline in this poster for The List.
He was doing that game show, right, where they had to guess a song.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that year?
Yeah, probably. Sidney Poitier. So what has she been in? She was in True Crime, right? Okay. Oh, right. I forgot she was in Death Proof. Yeah.
Oh man.
Good old The Sunday Horse. Oh, let's look at Susan Reinhardt. Oh, really? She's known for Buffalo Soldiers. It's actually a pretty good film.
Buffalo Soldier
Mm-hmm.
in the heart of the
Memphis with Sybil Shepherd. Glory and honor.
The storyline for The List starts out very upfront. Ever been dumped in front? The next sentence is not even a sentence. It's ever been dumped ? In front of 20,000 people at a stadium on live television. That's one sentence.
Is that a question mark after that one, or is that not a question?
Question mark exclamation point combo.
Oh, that's what are those called?
A sentence fragment.
No. The question mark
Interrobang?
interrobang. That's it.
There's a fucking word for that, and also that word is interrobang.
Interrobang. Yep. Yeah, that's.
I am right in saying that, right?
Yes. No, that's true.
Okay.
No, that's It's the question mark and exclamation point. It's an interrobang. That's the reason.
Man.
Is because it's funny.
Third time college has paid off. There it is.
Technically speaking, it's an interrobang is when you join the two, right? But it's essentially an interrobang. So.
I mean, I could make a really bad joke here, but I'm just not going to do it. And you know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, Wayne Brady won an Emmy. What did he win?
That's surprising. He's a talented
For the
fella.
list.
Oh, he won an Emmy for Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, he was really, really prolific on Whose Line Is
He's
It Anyway.
fantastic in Whose Line. I didn't know he won an Emmy for it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you think he ever got the girl
Oh, that's a good question.
in the list? The hockey, the Thai food loving.
There was probably a great deal of humor and just
maybe he breaks the
wacky
song.
wacky situations,
Yeah.
misunderstandings and a low point.
They
one
probably
point.
at some point got together, but then there was a thing that one of them lied about earlier,
Mhm.
and then it comes true that
Oh,
they
yeah.
find out after they've gotten together,
Mhm, mhm.
and then they get to very apart for a while.
And they do, yeah, and then
Find their way
afterwards
back.
they learn things about themselves and each other, and really
Right.
they learn that whole experience strengthened their feelings for each other.
Right, because even though he made a mistake earlier on that she found out about, he also said something really endearing that she also finds out about afterward.
Right, exactly.
Which makes it easier for her to accept that he apologizes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
You think we're any close? Like, we gotta be.
Oh,
I think that's the exact plot of that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just realized that Wayne Brady is in Food Fight. Have you guys heard of that movie?
No, it's
I have heard. Yeah, sure.
Oh.
What is this about?
I'm gonna link you guys to the IMDb of Food Fight.
Okay.
You heard that song "Learn to Fly," right?
Well, Food Fight is this very, very strange animated movie, starring Hilary Duff, Charlie Sheen, and Wayne Brady, and
Wow.
Eva Longoria, and Christopher Lloyd. It's a very star-studded cast.
Learn to fly. Something like that, right?
That's like D-list star-studded though.
Well, a bunch of very
Does that have
famous
Eugene
people,
Levy
right?
in it?
Basically.
That's how you can tell.
Eugene Levy is in a list of his own of just
Yeah.
like you're like not famous but you're amazing always.
He's like indie B-list or something.
Yeah, he's a strange man. Oh, Eva Longoria is in this Food Fight film.
Yeah.
Chris
it's so-
Kattan. Chris Kattan's
Oh,
in
you
it.
cannot have the mango.
And Larry Miller's in it too. Wow, I thought he was dead.
And Jerry Stiller.
Ed Asner, yeah, Jerry Stiller.
Was Chris Kattan not at the SNL reunion thing?
I don't know. I didn't see it, so. They have Harvey Firestein in it. That guy's got the greatest voice. Do you guys know Harvey Firestein?
I know the name, but I can't think of who he is.
Well, go ahead.
Harvey Firestein, he's got that really, really, like, deep but super raspy voice, and then it's also, like, a flamboyantly gay Jewish man accent. It's like the greatest combination of you are the most ridiculous human being that could possibly exist, and it's fantastic. I don't even know if he's gay.
Well,
but
He plays the fat cat burglar in Food Fight.
Mhm. Oh, I'm sure that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. But this movie is apparently, I think it went through some issues when it was being made or something.
Okay.
Because I think it was supposed to be a big movie, and something terrible happened and ended up being a fucking disaster. It is so bad. It is one of those movies, like the
Why do
Room
you know
level
about it?
Bad. There's a JonTron video about it.
Oh.
Yeah, which I would recommend to watch it because it pretty much shows you the whole movie. But it's like about a supermarket that comes to life at night, and
Wait, can we do that? Can we just make a YouTube video where we watch
Oh, I see where this went wrong. On the poster there are four, in
Brands.
fact, specific brands.
brands.
There's the Bumblebee tuna, the Vlasic pickles, Aunt Jemima, and I don't know what the banana is. Is that?
I think that's a Twinkie.
That's a Twinkie?
You don't know the
I
difference
think
between
that's
bananas and Twinkies.
The Twinkie cowboy, right?
Is it? Oh, I don't know. I don't need a lot of Twinkies, to be honest with you.
Look up Twinkie mascot. I think it's the Twinkie mascot.
All right.
Does it look like a
It
peanut?
is. It's definitely the Twinkie mascot.
Okay, so it's the Twinkie mascot. Well, that's why Twinkies went out of business, is because they fucking pumped a bunch of money into this
They're back
movie.
now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're back. Twinkies are good, man. But yeah, Charlie Sheen plays Dex, dog detective.
I like that name.
Dog detective.
Yeah, I figured that's what it was.
Obviously.
Hilary Duff plays Sunshine Goodness.
Oh,
That's
my
like
God.
from My Little Pony, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, that's a great name for Wayne Brady.
Daredevil Dan.
Yep. You know what's great about the picture of Wayne Brady on IMDb is, inexplicably, half of his beard is shaved off.
Yeah,
Do you
you're
see
right.
that? It's
a good look.
The left
hell?
half is just shaved off. I don't know why. Here, hold on. I'll show you viewers at home.
God damn it.
Let me.
I was really hoping we could get out of talking about things you're looking at.
Well, no, I really want to show them what Wayne Brady's strange beard looks like. Since we're talking about Wayne Brady.
IMDb is a weird place.
We should just screen share your screen for the second half of this so you can just do all the browsing.
Well, no, because a lot of times I look at porn casually, and I can't let the viewers.
In the middle of Magic episodes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
pretty commonly actually.
Gotta stay.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, gotta stay hard.
Gotta stay
Okay.
hard.
All the time, yeah. See, look at his beard. Like, just half of it is just not there. Like, the left half of his beard doesn't exist.
So
It's a little like Kevin Bacon that one time. Pour
bit,
blood
yeah.
on it.
you guys want to hear this? I don't think this movie was even released in America because it says it grossed 20,000 euro in the UK and then 53,000 whatever the Russia
my
currency is,
God.
and its budget was
Euros.
45 million.
Wait, 23,000?
my God.
So it lost 44.9 billion dollars, more
Well,
than that.
million.
Oh my
you mean.
god.
Million, not
Yeah.
billion dollar, trillion.
Yeah.
It lost $7 quadrillion at the box office.
It actually single-handedly tanked Greece's economy.
You know in Cookie Clicker there's that capital letter O? We don't even know what that stands for. It lost that.
It lost that too.
Like an octillion
Yeah.
or something.
But yeah, when I said this was a disaster, I meant that it was.
Oh my
A
God!
disaster.
How did I
It
never
made
even hear of it, though? Like-
Probably because it fucking sold 20,000 tickets or $20,000.
But like no marketing?
If clearly if it sold only $20,000, I mean that's like less money than like an indie movie in 91
Oh, I
makes.
know.
Like that's
That's absurd.
crazy. That's crazy. In fairness about the $44 million though, that all comes from that is such a oh man, that is the worst idea. That all comes from Vlasic, Twinkies, Bumblebee, and Aunt Jemima, just getting main characters being their mascots.
So yeah, this movie was. I think the concept was made in 1999. It's
How to
supposed
squeeze the most amount of money out of advertisers for a movie while still making a film. That's the idea that they came out with in '99.
This is interesting though because it was supposed to release, I think, in the early 2000s. It was released in 2012.
Wait a minute, really? That's like the
Yes.
Duke Nukem Forever of movies.
It is basically. But yeah, box office
Classically, we
73,000, budget $45 million.
Well, the reason it probably took so long is they probably made like 100 scripts, and then they had to move them around to Vlasic, Twinkies, Bumblebee and Aunt Jemima, and have them like just pick over every single line that their mascot would say, and changing the lines and rewrites and all that.
And the hardware kept changing. They had to keep upgrading the engine,
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Well, here's an
starting
interesting
over all
little
the
tidbit.
assets. Yeah.
In late 2002, early 2003, Kasanoff reported that hard drives containing unfinished assets for the film had been stolen in what he called an act of industrial espionage.
Wow.
Food Fight Gate.
Right, Kate.
Oh my god.
People wanted to sabotage this thing? What?
Probably that was like Aunt Jemima and Vlasic having internal issues.
Can you imagine if there was like a fight, like an alternative company that also wanted to make a similar idea, and they wanted to make sure the other one didn't succeed, and they had the same budget, and maybe they only sold like $8,000 in theirs. We never even found that one.
Oh my God, this story is so interesting. Lionsgate Entertainment established a distribution deal who gave 20 million in funding to Threshold, which is the company who's making this, in 2005. And due to the Lionsgate deal, the celebrity voice actors and the product tie-ins, a release date in 2005 was announced and missed, and then a deal in 2007, but again, nothing came of it. And eventually, skip some crap, their insurance company, which had insured the movie, was then finished by that insurance company as inexpensively and quickly as possible, and then the film released.
I didn't know you could insure a movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the insurance company, which was
everything.
called Fireman's Fund Insurance Company, received the copyright to the film in 2012 and released it in 2012.
How do you determine risk on a thing like that? Because shouldn't that company then be dissolved?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
isn't
know.
that the worst call an insurance company's ever made for insuring a film?
Yeah, I don't know. But you insure everything on a film. You insure all
I'm
the
just
things.
saying that if it proceeded to exist for like 13 years,
Oh my god.
they made some big problems happen there.
The IMDb, this is what the IMDb says, Austin, is Food Fight was a box office bomb, making only $73,000 back of its $65 million budget.
All right.
I want to
more-
interview someone
5.
involved with that. You know, the real movie is the fact that that movie failed.
Yeah, actually that would be a
That's the
really
movie.
that would be a really great documentary actually, is what the fuck these people were thinking making Food Fight.
Interview everyone along the way, especially fucking Fireman's Fund.
They didn't even have the integrity to, like, obviously this movie is designed purely and entirely to make money. And that's
Right.
probably also part of the reason it bombed, because people are pretty, okay about advertising and open to it and receptive, but they're also not the stupidest people in the world. And would, like, looking at a movie like that would make you would feel insulted. I would feel insulted.
That is why you've got to pre-order the ticket sales before they know.
Yeah, exactly. Get the DLC
That'll get 'em in.
see what
The
kind of
DLC 's
pickle
the unreleased footage.
what kind of pickle the seagull goes and grabs at
That's
the
a
end.
good point.
Yeah.
You need to hear this sentence in a review for
I
this
love
movie.
sentences.
The grotesque ugliness of the animation alone would be a deal breaker, even if the film weren't also glaringly inappropriate in its sexuality, nightmare-inducing in its animation, and filled with Nazi overtones and iconography,
Alright.
even more egregiously unfit for children than the script's wall-to-wall gauntlet of crude double entendres. I don't know how to say that. Entendres and weird intimations of interspecies sex.
So I don't know if this is just a troll review, though.
I would think
No,
it
that's.
is.
I think that's a real review.
I don't think they would have, like, Nazism in Food Fight. In fact, this probably is, like, the most vanilla movie the world has ever known. Like,
when there's corporations involved, they won't go in any direction like that.
yeah, they're going to stay about as close to center as possible. Like the was it South Park or what was it, where it's like the politician standing on the podium and he's like, I have no strong opinion in either direction, and everyone claps and cheers. Like,
oh wait, that's Futurama, isn't it?
that's Futurama. Yeah,
That sounds like Futurama.
Yeah, that's Futurama. Yeah, yeah, but yeah. No, I mean they didn't even have the integrity. They went for the highest bidder that was willing to do this. They didn't even have the integrity to, like, try to grab some real licenses that seem like interesting characters that could fit up against one another. Like, they straight up have Aunt Jemima as a fucking syrup bottle, the seagull from Vlasic, and the weird shark thing from Bumblebee. And it's as if they reprinted the Twinkies cowboy onto the poster from the thing. Like, it's like, man. Like, maybe if you had, like, Count Chocula and I don't know, those robbers who, like, you know, they go rob Cookie Crisp or whatever. And
Dude, I
then
want to get like Angry Video Game Nerd to talk about this movie because I bet he'd have a lot to say.
what other popular mascots are pretty funny? Terry Crews. You get Terry Crews in it, and he could be on a horse.
Terry Crews isn't on the horse though.
Yeah.
It's the other Old Spice guy.
I feel like Food Fight was like the beta version of Wreck-It Ralph.
I still never watched that.
I haven't either.
You haven't?
I heard it was okay.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. No, it's better than okay. It's
It
good.
was so apprehensive because it just really I feel like so many times they go the Big Bang Theory route when it comes to how people see people interacting with video games.
No, it has like nothing to do with people. It's about the games themselves. There's nothing to do with people playing the games.
No, I know, but the games themselves will be depicted in a ridiculous way. I don't know.
I mean, I mean, that has some good references, and it's a great movie. I don't see anything wrong with the movie at all. I would recommend watching it. There's really,
All right.
It did okay, money-wise.
Why does that matter?
Well, I'm just curious because there's a strange concept.
no, it was,
Okay, so you kind of get what I'm saying then.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
No?
I would be wary for the same reason, but I won't necessarily assume that it would be like that. I'd give it a chance to prove me wrong on that type of idea, but I would be afraid that it would do that. But I would just I'm more concerned with it that, like, they're just shoehorning things,
Right.
you know, like, because
Like Family Guy.
That's
It's like,
what
hey,
it-
we need to make references. Let's make references now.
right.
well,
exactly,
I mean, there's a bunch
yeah.
of references in it, but all the main characters are all their own kind of games that don't exist. More they're parodies of other games, and they're all, you know, generic games. Like there's the racing game, the shooter game, which is the new game, and then like the Wreck-It Ralph, who's more like a, you know, old Donkey Kong style arcade game, or whatever that plumbing game was.
Pipe Dreams?
Mm.
Maybe I don't remember. But yeah,
I don't know,
it's
maybe it's also that it's Disney that makes it like, yeah, like it's already
I
kind
feel
of
like you guys
obvious.
are creating a lot of issues for a movie you haven't
Well,
seen.
no, it's like it's already it's kind of obvious. It's like really obvious that it is very in a similar fashion to Food Fight, designed purely to make money, not
Capitalize on a trend by people
Yeah.
who don't understand that trend for a group that isn't part of that trend.
Yeah, right, exactly, and that
I don't
is
see that.
Well, it's the same reason as Food Fight. You co-opt other characters from a completely unrelated universe that are near and dear
There's
to
like
people's hearts.
one shoehorned person in it, and it's kind of funny. But
No,
there's like
No, they
I-
all
I-
are.
I just
They,
don't give
that's
you guys
that's what I
a
mean.
fan.
They all are. Has Sonic in any Sonic game ever interacted with M. Bison or Wreck-It Ralph in any of the games?
well, the Sonic one was what I was referring to, if that's what you're talking about.
Well, I see Dr. Robotnik on there, Zangief, the ghosts from Pac-Man.
Oh, those are the yeah. That's just like a short scene with the evil dudes. Like that one's actually funny.
I'm just saying that, like,
I feel like you're. I don't think it's there. I don't for this movie. I don't think you get. I don't see
Well,
it.
it is.
I'm not against watching it.
I'll watch it too. Yeah, I'm just saying that conceptually and premise-wise, it's designed to use your good feelings towards Sonic and Street Fighter to make you want to watch this movie, of which you probably you would have no interest in otherwise.
And it's reappropriating them in a way to use them in their own devices, which feels manipulative.
Right, you know, it's like when, you know, a show or a movie's like oh yeah, I'll be right back after this murder we committed, but I need an ice cool, refreshing Coca-Cola here because it's going to be delicious and also
That
nutritious in a lot of ways. And it's, you know, it's like it just feels kind of icky.
Nutritious.
Yeah, it's also because it's like, you know, it's Disney and they're in recent years they're kind of known for that kind of thing a bit. Like
I mean, Sonic's on screen for like 3 seconds.
it doesn't
And-
matter. It doesn't matter how long he's on screen for. The fact that he's in it at all. I mean, they even marketed it with him on the poster. So I mean,
It's a bait and switch.
it's the whole point is like it doesn't matter how long he could be on there for a single frame, and the idea still stands that on its premise alone, it's a little bit icky for me to want to even consider.
It's also breaking the wall of parody, isn't it? And satire to say, well, we're making a comparison to something, but also here's the thing we're making a comparison to.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really make that point that way. You have to keep your own level of removal from the actual subject matter.
Yeah. And like I said,
feel
I
like
haven't
you guys
seen
are being way too cynical on this.
Well, it's the same reason as Food Fight, right? You're just co-opting random characters for the sake of making money. Like, that's the whole. It's the same. It's the same basic premise.
I don't necessarily know that I'll hate it. I just stayed away from it because of all the things I'm saying that went in my head.
Yeah, I think I'd like it, honestly, but at the same time, I'm just saying that like the premise is a bit icky in the same way that I was saying. It's the same thing as Food Fight, except these characters you're more attached to, and it's higher quality because it's made by Disney. But it's like, it's the same thing. It's like they co-opt characters out of other things that are completely unrelated for the sake of generating revenue. And the story comes after, right? Like that's the thing, right? It's not like they had the idea for the story first and then they did this. They thought about the licensing deals and then they made the story around that, and that's a bit icky. It's a little,
I don't know if you can say that, because
I can say
all those things that you're talking about are like in the very, very beginning of the movie, and then the entire rest of the movie has nothing to do with any of those things.
Talking about conceptuals and theoreticals, whether or not they apply, they're still sort of a part of the equation.
Why would you bother making a good movie then? Why waste your time trying on that movie if that's all you're trying to do?
Of making a good movie?
If you're just trying to get people in with the cheap, co-opted characters, why bother with the actual movie making it good? I don't understand.
Well, because you could have the difference between Food Fight and Wreck-It Ralph, which actually went positive in their earnings rather than, Food Fight, which was
they did it right.
Just a cash grab, and they didn't care about anything else.
Ultimately, you can lure people in under a false premise and then still give them a positive experience afterward.
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph could be a great movie. I don't see, but the initial premise is just as icky as Food Fight, albeit less icky because they're characters that I'm more comfortable with and more attached to. But
I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I just feel like that's like, so you're just not allowed to make references to things in movies?
No. You can make a reference to something, but that's not the same as paying Sega.
They built their identity on it.
Yeah, like paying Sega to get Sonic's likeness and put him on the poster of the film. Like that's completely different from making a reference to, like, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World uses a bunch of assets and sounds from Zelda and various other video games, and those are like homages, but they're not like, they're very specific, and they're not the same as like, hey, let's contact Sega and license, M. Bison so we can make him look snarling on the cover of the Wreck-It Ralph poster so that people are going to look at it and say, oh, Street Fighter. I like Street Fighter. That gets me in the door. That's my hook. The hook in that scenario is game characters that you're familiar with,
I get the poster. I hadn't seen the poster. I agree with you that it's weird to me that the only main character on the poster is Wreck-It Ralph and not the other 5 main characters.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. Like, that's dumb. I don't know why.
There also can be a disconnect between the people that made the movie and the marketing, so it doesn't necessarily imply that anyone's being malicious in that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
They just want to get as much money as they can for the product they just created. So, that could be what happened there.
Yeah.
We're providing an argument for a thing that I don't think either of us are as attached to as it sounds like we are, so you don't need to be like so down about it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's philosophically similar premise-wise to
it was an interesting parallel, I think.
Yes,
between the two things.
I haven't seen it, like I said. I'm sure
I may see it now because we had that discussion. Honestly.
Yeah, I want to see it. I actually have had the desire to see it. But then at the same time, though, at the same time, while saying that,
Oh, you.
the reason that I have wanted to see it is because it has those licensed game characters in it. I don't know what
I don't see how bad it was, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the storyline. I don't know. It's something about to do
see
with
it for that,
it's
like I
something
said,
to do
those
with the little
people
girl, and then
yeah, they're in the movie. Literally, like the entire intro of the movie is I'll look at these old arcade games, and then the entire rest of the movie is the actual story.
Right. Yeah.
Is it like Monsters Incorporated with video game characters?
No, because
Okay.
yeah, I get what you're trying to get at, but the little girl is actually a character, not like Boo, who doesn't talk or.
I thought that was a cute movie, actually.
No, I love Monsters Inc. One of my
Monsters
favorite
Inc.'s great. Yeah,
Pixar movies. Yeah, but
it's a great film.
I wouldn't compare it that much.
Okay.
Yeah. Draw inspiration from Donkey Kong. Both games are Hardy Man character, world building structure. Yeah. No, I mean I want to see it. But yeah, like at the same time, and it was the hook. The hook is licensed video game characters, and they know that, and I know that, and yet it still works on me, and I'm conscious of it, and I'm
because
okay.
it's for the opposite reason.
It's weird though, because I remember seeing the commercials, and the only character in the commercials that was one of those characters was the Q*bert, well, and the villain scene. But the villain scene was like, I think it was pretty obvious in the commercials that didn't have really anything to do with the movie.
Doesn't it just come across a little bit that's like, hey, like, we know about these things that are supposed to be niche characters, and we're going to show them off because we're so savvy. And that just sounds like you're gloating.
Yeah.
Like, it's not privileged information to know about video games. And to expose it to a mainstream audience as if it is just kind of disingenuous to me.
I don't know, it didn't feel that way to me, I guess. The Sonic one did. The Sonic one,
it's because I'm cynical, really, and it's not your fault. You should be the happy person here because you didn't feel.
I'm also cool. I'm totally cool with referential humor. Like, I'm watching the trailer right now. No, see, like, the trailer right now, Bowser's sitting next to Zangief, who's telling a story while Dr. Robotnik looks on. So, but, like...
They're pushing the hook so hard.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, that's the whole... I remember seeing that and being like, oh, shit, that's Bowser. I want to see that. I don't care about... I didn't know about the story. But, I mean, like, the... I'm totally down for referential humor. That's part of the reason I want to see it, is because it references old video games, and I like old video games and stuff. I'm fine with that. I don't have a big issue.
I can't believe that actually works on you. You go, oh, that's Bowser. I want to see that, as if like a million channels of Machinima on YouTube don't have that same experience for you for some reason.
I watched that too. I like watching fan films. Fan films are great.
All right, fuck me. Never mind that. Bad point. I didn't know what I was saying.
Yeah, no, I like those too. Actually, speaking of which, fan film, well, sort of fan film, is actually a sponsored sort of fan film, but Halo Forward Unto Dawn, pretty good. I don't know if you guys saw that. Are they going to make a new one of that? Because it seemed like they were going to. And then
probably make 1,000 of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they made the Halo Forward Unto Dawn like a year and a half ago now, so I don't know.
I don't know. I would assume they'd make another one. It was so successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty good.
In semi-related news, Machinima actually, who was responsible, the MCN, they were responsible for that Mortal Kombat series that they made such a big fuss about.
Yeah, that
apparently they're laying off like a ton of people again,
mm-hmm.
and they're canceling like most of their big programming now.
Oh, really?
And some major element of their channel is now just going to be shut down due to disinterest. So
yeah, I watched a bit of the Mortal Kombat, and it was real bad.
Oh, that one's bad.
I am completely not surprised by that, by the way.
It was, yeah, it looked bad from the trailers, and because it's like, hey, let's tell the ridiculous and over-the-top Mortal Kombat story in a really heavy-handed and dramatic way, and it's like, that is not a smart idea. That is a really bad idea to try to play that story straight, like that. Especially if you're going to. If you're gonna not change the elements of it,
the guy's name is Noob Saibot because it's Boon Tobias backwards. Yeah. There's a story element for you. Have fun with that.
You remember the old Mortal Kombat movies? Those were awesome.
Yes.
Those movies were great.
Oh, when you Scorpion throws his hook and you can see out of the perspective of the hook as it flies through the trees after Liu Kang.
Yeah.
Was it Liu Kang he was fighting, or was it Sub-Zero at that point? I don't remember. I think it was Liu Kang. It's usually Liu Kang.
I think it is Liu Kang there, and then he fights him in hell, and he takes off his his hood.
Yeah, he's a skull underneath.
Yeah,
Did you know?
He uses the flamethrower. Yeah, yeah. No, that pretty sure that was Liu Kang. Yeah, yeah.
You guys are nerds.
My favorite was Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage was the best. I forget his line.
I like Nicolas Cage better, his brother.
No, well, Johnny Cage. Well, Johnny Cage was actually based on. I think he might have been based on Nicolas Cage. I don't remember.
I don't think he was, actually. I think he was a fictional character movie star.
Well, yeah, but he's based specifically on one movie star. And in fact, I think initially he was going to be the tie-in for the game. Oh, okay. He's a parody of Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's who he is.
All right. Well, that's a bit of a stretch, though. But okay, sure, whatever.
No, you can see it. You can see it if you look
It's
at
fucking
Johnny
Mortal
Cage.
Kombat. Who cares?
Yeah, that's true. Fun fact, actually, since we were talking about retro video games and video game history, did you guys know the ESRB, the rating system, at least in America, for rating video games, which also, side note, ESRB, that's a self-regulating system.
Yeah, we made it up because of Mortal Kombat.
And it came to be because of Mortal Kombat 2 and parents getting really, really upset over all of the blood and gore in Mortal Kombat 2.
Dude, Katana could cut you in half with her fucking fan.
Yeah, it was cool.
And so could Kung Lao, honestly.
Yeah, but the point that I was making too was that it's self-regulating, which is really interesting because that's completely unlike rating systems in other industries like the MPAA or the
right.
You know, whatever. They those are not self-regulating, so it's interesting. It's cool.
Thanks, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat gave us the ESRB.
And maybe helped kill Machinima. Yay!
Yeah, right.
Done.
Done.
Could actually be the end there, I think, probably about.
I really always wanted to when I was looking up.
Fuck you, Nick. No, it's not.
When I was looking up to like, you know, be in TGS one day back in the day before I knew they were all trash and garbage. I really wanted to write some scripts for some of their Machinima stuff that they would do, because some of it was pretty cool. But,
you mean stuff on Machinima or actually Machinima stuff?
Well, no, TGS, yeah, Machinima stuff.
TGS Machinima, okay.
Yeah, TGS Machinima, yeah, which is...
It's a very complicated thing to talk about.
It is, yeah, it's a bit confusing, yeah, no, but they did like Machinima stuff, and they also did like just like parody and like...
Right.
You know, what if type of deals. Like they did a Zelda series called like Fistful of Rupees, which was like Zelda if it was a Western.
Weird.
Yeah, which is a cool conceptually. I think executed not as well as it could have been. But I would have really liked to be a part of projects like that and made projects like that, but they don't.
They should get Itagaki, and they should make like a Zelda, but like Dead or Alive Zelda.
So just Zelda has just massive breasts and plays volleyball on the beach?
Well, just something extreme, right? Like something with somebody really fucking unbalanced that's really violent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. Yeah, imagine, you know, using your Wiimote and chopping through stuff and there's just like limbs flying everywhere and blood coming out, and you know, that the kids like that, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh,
kids are into that kind of stuff.
M-rated Zelda. Why can't we do that?
No. There's only was the Twilight Princess was the only T-rated Zelda, right?
Yeah, why was that one so edgy? What happens in that one?
I think there's some stabbing. Well, there was stabbing in the face in Wind Waker.
Stabbing in all of them, man.
You stab in the head. You stab Ganondorf in the head several times. Technically, Ganon, Zelda nerds, shut up.
But, Ganondorf.
Well,
no.
It's Ganondorf in Wind Waker, but you stab Ganon in
Who cares?
Ocarina of Time. But yeah.
Majora's Mask is creepy as hell. That one should be rated M.
That one should be rated fucking
X.
Like, if you don't want to sleep, play this game. Game's creepy as shit.
I still hate myself for listening to the Song of Healing backwards. Don't do that.
That sounds
People,
creepy.
you might think, oh, it's just a song.
Yeah, no,
Can't be that creepy.
Ben
It's
did actually
real,
drown.
It's
Yeah.
real creepy.
Fun-
Don't listen to that song backwards.
Fun fact about Johnny Cage, by the way, because I'm reading this intermittently. The original character's name was Michael Grimm with 2 M's, and he was actually the first character created for Mortal Kombat. And the test prototype of the original game had just 2 Johnny Cages fighting each other.
I think I knew that already.
Yeah.
Maybe. I was actually a pretty big fan of Mortal Kombat. ABACABB, motherfucker, blood code, Sega Genesis, look it up.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Now I'm making references for the sake of making references. The kids
trying
like
to find Skyward Sword's rating. I can't imagine it's not.
Skyward Sword can't be more than like E10.
Yeah.
It's got beautiful pastel colors, so you feel comforted at night when you watch it.
It is. Oh, it's rated E10 up.
Oh, see, that's what I said. Can't be more than E10.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Comforts your balls when you sleep.
What's its Peggy rating?
Peggy 18.
Peggy 18.
Let's see. Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword. Peggy rating. I don't know how to spell Peggy, but I tried my best. Oh, it's just 1G.
PEGI, isn't it?
Yeah, it's PEGI.
I can't. There's nothing here.
All right.
Yeah, who cares?
Oh, Peggy 12 plus. I found it.
Peggy 12 plus.
Peggy 12 plus.
You gotta say it in the voice. It's very important.
So this is interesting. Apparently, Casper Van Dien portrayed Johnny Cage in Legacy Season 2. Is that the Machinima one?
Maybe. I know very little about it, honestly, other than that it got shut down.
Okay, Google. Mortal Kombat Legacy.
I can't do that, Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave. Machinima doesn't want you to see this anymore. Yeah, this was Machinima's. So apparently Casper Van Dien played Johnny Cage in that series.
Well, here you go. Here's your answer. Twilight Princess was given a T rating, which cited fantasy violence and animated blood as reasons for the mature rating.
Animated blood. When does that happen?
Shit. I'm trying to think. I mean, you think I'd know?
I think what probably happened. This is entirely conjecture and in no way based in any.
It was a
points of
marketing
reality.
move.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I knew what you were gonna say.
I think Nintendo pushed for it to be T-rated so that the people who grew up with Ocarina were like, because that's what people. Whenever anybody talks about Twilight Princess, people are always like, oh yeah, well it was a pretty dark game, like as like a point of.
Yo, where does that even come from?
Well, they didn't. There wasn't a lot of bright colors, and it happened a lot at night.
It's literally a contrasty dark game.
Yeah, so, it is. Sure. It is literally dark. But no, yeah, I no, but for real, I think there is a possibility based on entirely zero fact and nothing besides this thought that I just had moments ago, that that they pushed for it to be T-rated so that the people who grew up with Ocarina would be like, because I mean the whole idea of the game, for like on a real note though, like thematically, is supposed to be that it was very thematically similar to Ocarina of Time, which people felt betrayed by when they strayed away from the Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask theme with Wind Waker. Because remember at the time, people were not very excited about the graphical, the art style of Wind Waker and the art design. People were really, really angry about it initially. And looking back now, it looks great.
Calling those people idiots because that game was actually fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful game, Wind Waker, still, honestly.
Yep, if only it were finished.
I know. If only they could have finished the fucking second one. That would have been great, too.
When's the next go-around that we have for Wind Waker? We did the HD remaster, right? So now we have to do the 3DS version, so maybe it'll be that one.
The last time it took, what, one extra generation? So the console after the Wii U, no remake. The console after that, that's when we get the remake of Wind Waker HD. Because that's going to be Wind Waker 4K. So...
I don't think the graphics are going to matter, because Nintendo won't go past, like, 720p resolution.
That's true, yeah. They're like the ISPs being like, well, people don't need more than 720 horizontal pixels. Or I guess those are vertical pixels. Vertical pixels?
Yeah.
Your eyes can only see 30 FPS, Rob.
What do they record movies in again? It's like 2027 or 24 or something.
Yeah, I think it's 24. I don't remember exactly.
So why don't we just go after 24? Because that's the most thematic and cinematic way to present our games.
Absolutely. That makes it look the best.
Oh, they should make a patch for the Evil Within.
Oh God, the Evil Within, man. That is like a fucking case study on like things you don't do. All the things that you don't do to make your game fancy.
You know, the Order comes in a bizarre resolution also. To really crop it off. Apparently it comes in some weird extra wide resolution, so there's black bars at all times.
Oh, you know what that is? That's probably the
frame saving.
That was a resolution that came into play in Hollywood in the 1950s. Okay? And it's like I think it's like 2.6 by 1 or something.
There was a point, but I don't think it was... Just look up the resolution of the Order. That way we give the proper resolution.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to look up the common resolution ratios. But they're probably going... It's so funny. It's so funny to me how the history of video games and how they're shaped throughout even today lines up almost in like perfectly.
They want it to follow
the movie
film.
Industry. Yeah.
They're going out of their way to make it follow it because for some reason they have this hard-on for the idea of movies and games being the same thing.
Yeah. Well, but then that's the other thing too, is that resolution that I'm talking about that they did in the 50s, like actually North by Northwest, the famous Alfred Hitchcock movie, which is really good by the way, is filmed in that resolution. But that at that time people like filmmakers thought, oh, this is way more cinematic. This is super cool and cinematic. But just people didn't like it because it's just, you know, it's just like it's like a really stretched out image. You don't get any of the vertical height and it's ugly. It's just kind of ugly.
So the developers of the Order thought, well, we've created this masterwork and the only way that we can think to really stamp our seal of approval on it is to borrow the same aspect ratio as potentially a famous Alfred Hitchcock film.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, we're on equal footing with that, right?
Yeah.
I also have no idea if it's the same aspect resolution or aspect ratio, so you should...
I would have to imagine that it's similar, but...
If it has black bars on a widescreen TV, then that's all I'm saying. There was some other glaring fact I learned about the Order the other day. Oh, every boss battle is the same.
Really?
You fight werewolves throughout the whole game, and it's always the same QuickTime event. There's like 4 different instances of them. So you like run by them and like pistol whip them and like turn around and shoot it a bunch of times, and then it like charges you, and then you do some kind of like death fight, and then you win. So it's like that's your boss battle for most of the game. And you're going to actually introduce this element, so you have to do it a bunch of times. They also have a depth of field filter, I read, that it doesn't always focus on the things you're targeting, so you'll just get like a big blurry blob that you're trying to shoot at until the camera sees what you're trying to point at. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, now you can shoot that thing. So, good stuff.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, apparently the Order is in 1920 by 800 resolution.
Oh, that's supposed to say 1080.
Yeah.
It is much lower than I expected. 1920 by...
okay. So the game renders an image of 1920 by 1080, but 280 pixels, vertical pixels, are black horizontal lines.
So it renders the black lines as part of the actual rendering.
Yeah, I guess.
Wouldn't that just make the frame rate worse?
That's what that's what the fucking
I mean, I don't know that.
No, well, that's what the Evil Within did too, remember? Like when when you went into the console, and you removed the stupid cinematic black bars, the game was rendering stuff under them. It just wasn't showing you it. Which is like, well, why? I mean,
I don't know what that means. That either means that it's rendering the black bar as part of the rendering, or it's actually just overlaying it on top of it. I don't know which.
I would think. I mean, in the case of Evil Within, since you were able to remove it through console, I would imagine it's the latter, but I don't know.
Yeah, me and Rob went through that together. We were setting up the game. It took like 45 minutes to get us to be able to play that fucking game, and it still performed like shit afterward.
Yeah.
They patched it, though, so apparently it's a bit better now, and the black bars aren't a thing you have to take off with console anymore. But why did I have to do that at all?
I don't know, really stupid artistic decisions.
Yeah, it's weird how little things like that seem to just slip through without anyone going, well, maybe we should not do that, guys.
Things like that are like dudes sucking each other's. There's a big circle jerk in the office,
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, make it look like a movie. Oh, get the letterbox. Oh baby, yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh man,
Oh, rub my nipples.
24 frames per second. Oh yeah, this looks like a fucking Alfred Hitchcock movie. I'm the next Alfred Hitchcock. They're gonna call me the Christopher Nolan of video games. Oh yeah, that's what's happening over there. When they do, oh, you know what, guys? Let's be super edgy and let's add a film grain and make the picture quality considerably worse because people love film grains. That's the best part about films is that the imperfections of the grains making a poorer image quality. That's what people love about films. They don't love
indistinguishable.
They don't love the characters or the stories or the complex emotions or dialogues. They don't care about any of that. It's the grain. It's the shitty image quality. That's what they want.
Put some hairs on it too. Can you get some hairs stuck in the
oh man,
the negatives that go by? It's the celluloid.
Very passionate.
It's just very frustrating.
I'm kind of with him. It's fucking ridiculous.
No.
When people are like, okay, it's acceptable in games where it's thematically appropriate. No, it's acceptable in games where it's thematically appropriate. Like, for instance, House of the Dead Overkill, right? They do that film grainy thing, but they're going for like a grindhouse type of deal.
Yeah. Where it's over the top in the film, even.
Right,
and
exactly.
It makes sense then.
The evil within, like, where does that have any fucking place?
Right, we don't need to be aware of the filming process of this thing we're witnessing because it's not being filmed.
Yeah, exactly.
We're a ghost camera.
There's no camera. The camera doesn't exist.
And then they have to get the tiny little fucking focus frame in the center so you can't see, you know, anything around you.
You know, I think it's also the part of the reason that I'm loud about this is this is an equally relevant conversation in the film industry itself of the use of the difference between using film and digital, and
I'm sure it's like the music industry where there's those wankery about whether digital or analog is the better option.
Yeah, it's a frustrating conversation of like one is very clearly superior. Just use that. Just use.
I don't know if it's that digital. One is clearly superior.
If you use a red camera, it is basically indistinguishable. You would need an algorithm running on a computer to distinguish the difference between film and a red camera's footage.
No, I don't know that. I don't know enough to comment, but I do know that I can tell the difference between 24, 30, and 60 FPS.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too on film is digital doesn't need to run at that frame rate, right? But filmmakers are still running films at that frame rate, even shooting digital, so that it looks more like film.
Oh, I know.
Which is, at least in that case, is a little bit more understandable, in a way.
Yeah, on PC there's no excuse.
Because there are some weird scenarios, like movies with a higher frame rate look weird comparatively to movies with a lower frame rate. Like, I remember there was that whole debate with the Hobbit movie, and people were like, are you one of those people that say it looks different? And I was like, I mean, it does actually look different. It does look a little bit weirder because it like, you can look at Robert Rodriguez's movies, like Sin City and stuff. Like those movies play at like, I think like 60 frames per second, and it lends to the art, like the art design of the film, but it's also, you know, just a little bit jarring since you're used to films running at 24 frames per second. You know, I don't know.
I mean, you are actually making the argument in that case that lower frame rate is more cinematic, and in that case, I actually agree with you because we're talking about movies and not fucking video games.
Exactly right. Yeah. It is definitely. It's well, it is still arguable, I think, even in the film industry, whether it's more cinematic. Because the thing is, it's you're used to it, right? Because all films have been like that since.
Certainly more pervasive at the very least. Nobody's gonna argue that.
Right, exactly. Whereas, and you know, it could just be the case of people just need to get used to 60 frames per second in digital filmmaking, but I don't know.
Is there an advantage really
To having 60 frames
to
per
having
second?
60 over 24 in this case of a movie? It's just a choice. It's an artistic decision, right?
It's an artistic choice. Yeah, I mean there would not be a great deal of downside if you're going on the 24 frames per second. I mean, the 60 frames per second, you would have to render more frames, right? And sometimes rendering these movies that have a great deal of CGI takes like weeks.
Oh, well, I'm not talking about the behind the scenes. I'm just talking as far as being a viewer sitting watching a movie at 24 or 60. It's just an artistic decision.
Yes.
But when you're talking about a video game at 60, that's more response time that you have and a more smooth experience, especially when you're trying to do dexterous movement.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
So that actually does change the experience. Not only does it change how you're able to react, but you'll have a better, enjoyable time being able to see everything updating closer to real time to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's more immersive. I don't think there's a way around saying that.
It also affects gameplay too. Like in Dark Souls, there's a couple like if you use the DS fix to make it run at 60 frames per second, the original Dark Souls, I mean,
It depends on the engine.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of jumps that can't be made at 60 frames per second, but can be made at the 30.
That's because of that specific engine, though, the way it's written.
Yeah, but still,
That's not, I'm talking general terms, though.
Yeah, in general as well. Yeah, but
they programmed it not to be done in 60, so that's why it's a problem at that. And there would have to be like post hoc fixes for individual exceptions to that problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop equating games to movies, guys.
Yeah,
that's I think what we want.
It's a different medium.
Like, you can pay lip service to each other, but just stop trying to think you are one and the other. It doesn't need to be.
You know, I think I've said this before on Magic a long time ago, but Alan Moore, comic artist, he's done famously The Watchmen, V for Vendetta, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, you know, all these.
Yeah.
And he's a brilliant writer, amazing comic book writer, and he is vehement in his hatred for any even discussion about turning his comics into films. He won't be a part of any project. He hates the idea, and it simply happens because they're very popular and extremely good, and he doesn't own the rights to them. Right?
You must have really hated that shitty PS4 game they made of The Watchmen then.
Probably, yeah.
Sorry, PS3 game. That was a really bad game.
Yeah. The movie wasn't that great either. Although, in fairness, Zack Snyder did the best with what he was given, I think, honestly. I think he did a pretty good job considering, but, you know, you can't, you just can't do The Watchmen in fucking 2 hours. It's just impossible.
V for Vendetta, I thought, was the only good one out of the three you mentioned.
That one is, like, considerably different from the comic, actually. But also good.
It worked.
It's by the Wachowski brothers. I like V for Vendetta, the movie, very, very much. But anyway, he is very against people making movies out of his comic books, and his reasoning is that he does things in his comics that simply do not translate to other mediums. Like, you know, there are some things that that you can do in a book in prose that you just can't translate to screen. There's things.
I think we've had this exact conversation.
We did. I think it was on Magic as well. There are things that you can do in a comic book that you can't translate to screen. You can't translate
let's
to a
just
book.
not do this conversation.
Well, no.
Again.
The reason that I mention it is because I bring up that point is that you know, a lot of video game companies want to be film, and there are things in film that just straight up don't translate into video games.
There's too many damn books.
And on top of that, you shouldn't be trying to emulate film, at least not entirely. You should be trying to do things that can't be emulated in any other medium. You know, in my opinion.
Right.
So,
I'm into it. I think there's too many people doing too many things, and then when they collaborate together in the process of designing a game, the oversight does not understand all of the nuance and elements that go into making all the parts that form the sum, and you end up with a bunch of disjointed shit that comes across strangely. And if one person has a specific design in mind or a specific direction oriented in their head, you have to somehow establish that every person that's making all the tools and all the assets can all be exactly on the same page for that vision, right? So a director in film understands the whole process all the way down. A director working on a game doesn't necessarily know how to make all of the music and all of the art and all of the rendering and all the models and meshes and everything that comes together with the animations and all of that. You know, it's too much to ask of one person. So you've got to come up with sort of a loose camaraderie ship, a loose bit of teamwork that somehow they can agree on one sort of vision and work toward it. And it's so rare that everybody hits the same mark, which is why you get so many strange botched execution, especially when you have somebody with a strong attitude toward one specific idea, especially like in the case of The Evil Within, I assume, the whole, 24 frames per second, super widescreen bullshit. Like, there's probably somebody that was like, I know you don't agree with me, but I don't care because I'm the director and I'm going to pull rank. I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to say it. And you're going to agree because I'm at the helm of this fucking ship.
I agree with you. However, I'll say that it's the very same thing in film as well. Conversely to what you were saying.
There's no difference, though, you don't think, that the director doesn't understand the whole process better?
No, I think if you're a creative director on a video game, you probably know, you at least have a precursory understanding of every part of every process, right? I mean, because that's, you specialize in film, and you don't necessarily know how to do everything as well as a master at that particular thing is. There's a lot more technical prowess that comes into film than I think people give it credit for. It's not just pointing a camera at something. Not that I'm saying that you're saying this, but I'm saying it's not just pointing a camera at something and letting it go. Like, there's a million billion things that you have to consider at all times that can be completely overlooked, and you have to stay vigilant on maintaining it. So many things have to be maintained technically. That is definitely something that people don't necessarily consider as an aspect of film, because it just comes out. So the glaring weaknesses of a game are easier to see than the glaring weaknesses of a film, not the least of which to say that film has had a lot more time to perfect its art as well. But
I wonder if my point kind of dissolves also in the fact that now movies are so made up of CG and green screen effects that maybe they're actually converging on video games literally.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're both going in the opposite direction toward each other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people work and have their feet in both pools, right? As far as working in video games and in film.
But maybe that's why the love affair is so obvious to them, because it's just, they're already both in the same set of processes.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the part of the thing, too, is, like, it's not terribly recent, or it's not terribly long ago that video games started even having the capability of being cinematic. So we're still in, this is like, we're in like the adolescence of video games right now. Well, like what
do you consider to be cinematic? Where's the drawing point?
Well, I mean, like having voiceover for every character, having.
Do you consider Final Fantasy VII to be cinematic?
Yes and no. I mean, yes, that was the beginnings of that type of idea, right? Because they can have cutscenes with rendered characters moving around doing whatever, right? But it didn't have the voiceover and stuff, and that part is what I'm talking about, is having the voiceover, having the art assets, the music and stuff, the orchestral stuff. It's not just one guy doing it on a MIDI board or whatever, right? Well, it's like an orchestra now, and then the reason that I say that, the reason I bring up that point is because the talent that you're getting for those things they're coming from the film industry, right? For the most part,
that maybe
pretty much almost entirely are people coming from the film industry, to do stuff for video games. I mean, the voiceover and whatever.
We could argue that, but I don't know that you know that either, right? That you're just kind of speculating.
Well,
no.
I mean, I guess in a way I am, but realistically, do you really think that that an entire artistic community sprung up overnight of voice actors who want to do only video games and orchestras who only want to make game soundtracks?
It hasn't been overnight. The game industry's been doing voice acting for like 15, 20 years now.
Not really. I mean, not in the way
there was
that
voice
we're
acting in
talking about.
PS1 games, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was voice acting in Command and Conquer too, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that like the same kind of thing. And in
But
Warcraft
that's not
as
overnight.
well.
That's since the 90s. It's 2015 now.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm talking about like where we have these like Hideo Kojima 2-hour-long cutscenes in video games. It's different from, you know, your mission is to, you know, go blast the enemy base. You got 15 minutes to do it. Good luck. You know, there's a difference between that and like an actor trying to portray an actual role. You know.
I mean, they had the fucking Metal Gear Solid voice acting. That was also a little while ago. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
What I was going to try to establish is like where the line of what cinematic counts as, because then I was going to say, you know, fucking Final Fantasy 3 or Chrono Trigger. I considered those to be reasonably cinematic for their time. And I'm sure you could probably even find a few NES games that were reasonably cinematic as well if you go back far enough.
Yeah, you could say Link to the Past too. I mean, but you've always, video games have always taken elements of other mediums, but every other medium also takes elements of every other medium as well. But I think that the difference is finding where video games lie as their own specific, unique medium, and that's something that we're still learning, and is still being
I was gonna say that the whole point of this discussion is that it actually is being cinematic, and the idea of storytelling doesn't lie in either medium. It's independent of them both, and they both grab parts of it. So the whole argument is really moot. Like, they both have their own elements, and they should just stop bothering to try and compare each other to each other. We're talking about storytelling, not movies.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right? I think that's almost like a fallacy that we've fallen into this trap of believing that all storytelling is attributed to cinema. And it's not.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, but here's the thing. A lot of the elements of cinema that we hold as, you know,
they're cues.
Well, things that we hold as like the commandments of cinema, a lot of them kind of are carried over from dramatic plays, like the
Okay.
So, I mean,
right.
Aristotle wrote about all the rules of storytelling and the rules of like how many stories are possible and how many character archetypes there are and stuff like that. Like,
right.
And that's all carried over into film, and film in that regard is rather young comparatively to, you know, plays and stuff and theater. And that's all carried over as well. And so, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily an inherently bad thing that video games take cinematic elements from film. And in a lot of ways, those are carried over from, you know, ancient Greek plays and stuff, and the Commedia dell'arte and stuff like that. So
you're agreeing with me, though.
In what?
In that storytelling is not unique to cinema, it is simply independent unto itself.
Yes, yeah. Yes.
So the whole thing about cinema doesn't really matter. The whole discussion is kind of just silly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the part of that comes from the
execution of it.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that specifically the execution of storytelling in video games is a lot of the time done through cutscenes.
Right, and without those references, the directors would feel directionless, so they pull from those references. I get it.
Yeah. Where I think actually a good game series that really toes that line is Uncharted. Because Uncharted, like, dynamically shifts the camera to make it more, I don't know, epic and stuff, and basically uses cinematography in a way to make the gameplay more exciting, while not always, at least, forcing the player to put down his controller and sit and watch a movie for a while.
We should talk on another episode for an hour about Uncharted, because I have very interesting things to say about that series. I both love it and hate it in some ways, and I've played all of them, with the exception of the Vita one, because I didn't know that one counted. I don't know if it still does count. Maybe it's lower, maybe it's not. Whatever.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's a cool game. It's a cool series. It's got some real big problems though too.
Yeah. And also, we're at an hour and 40 minutes, so we should probably stop.
No, I agree. I'm about to run out of hard drive space.
Okay. Yeah. Austin, you still awake?
I'm here.
Sorry.
You guys had a thing going there. I don't want to interrupt it or anything.
Movies, right?
Yeah, I fucking don't watch movies too.
At least you watch Star Wars.
That's true.
Yeah.
Unlike Bear.
Well, he watched it now.
Yeah, he has watched it.
He hadn't until recently, though.
Yeah. What a nerd.
What a
not nerd.
A not nerd.
Yeah.
What a not nerd.
Fucking not nerds.
Probably sucking on some balls right now.
Yeah, seriously.
I did say it was going to do that before.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Well, thanks for watching. New episodes Mondays and Fridays.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Back now, yeah.
This is Alpaca Patrol signing out. Peace, fools.